Folks, today on the Stoney Ridge Farm Channel, I bought a NASCAR. Guys, welcome back to the Stoney Ridge Farm Channel. I bet you didn't expect this. Today, I'm going to show you that I bought a NASCAR. This is the Dirty Chicken. Welcome to the Stoney Ridge Farm. We're going to fire it up and do some donuts, man. This is going to be a project on the farm. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to have fun with it, that's for sure. Come along. Got Chris Meeks, right?
Sir.
With Meeks Recycling.
Recycling.
So tell me about the engines. That's a 355. That's a NASCAR engine?
It's what NASCAR would have originally used back in the day.
Okay, so back in like the late 90s?
Correct. It's a steel block 355 four bolt main. It's got the Vortec heads, which flows more air, the aluminum intake, the 4-barrel carburetor.
How many horsepower would you say this thing probably has? I mean, you
I
went all the way through the engine, right? This guy's cool, man. We'll talk about, yeah, met him on Marketplace. So tell me what all you saw when you opened the engine up, I guess.
I pulled it apart and it had aftermarket rods in it. It had aftermarket 30 over pistons, which is how it made it to 355. It had the solid roller cam, roller rockers, the aftermarket. The heads are not aftermarket, but they're a newer model GM product that flows much better than the older heads that would have came on it originally.
So could this have potentially been a NASCAR car at one time, or do you think it was a late model stock car, or what do you think?
It could have been raced in a NASCAR series, like the late model stock car series.
Yeah.
But it definitely was raced as a late model at one point. It has 8-inch wheels on it currently. The late model would have run the 10-inch wheels, but these worked really well, and they fit, and they held air really well. So
okay, gotcha. So they come from the scrap yard.
But it has the quick change rear end in it. It's got the coilovers on the rear. It's a complete tube chassis car.
Cool.
It was probably the creme of the creme in its day.
So take us around the car real quick so that I know and I have record. How many horsepower do you think it is?
I would say around 400 horsepower.
Okay, 400 horsepower. 4-speed, like a Saginaw or Muncie 4-speed?
It does have a Saginaw 4-speed transmission. It's got the custom battery mount. It's got the exhaust that doesn't run out the side here.
Gotcha.
There's a few loose ends here, but it's got a ton of potential. We've got the HEI distributor. It's got a new 750 Holly to pump plenty of fuel. We've got the factory, not factory, but the original fuel cell full of racing fuel.
Yep, I noticed the fuel cell.
Smell that you would desire with a race car.
Yeah, how much fuel has it got in it? So when I run out, I'll...
It's probably only got about 6 gallons in it, probably 4 at this point.
Enough to zip around the farm?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Now, I see a fan shroud, but no fan blade on here. Probably put an electric fan in place at some point?
Correct. We kind of left this up front because there's about 6 or 8 inches that we could...
oh, we got a boo-boo.
Oh, we see a little issue there.
Uh-oh. Well...
That, maybe
so
the
radiator.
mist of that will keep the engine even cooler than we expected. It just is probably not for a real long
so
time.
This is the custom misting radiator that this thing comes with. I think we need a new radiator mount for sure, and a new radiator. I got a buddy that does late model stuff, so he's gonna hook me up with a radiator.
Sounds like you're already on the way.
All right, guys, this may be the stupidest purchase I've ever made, but it's gonna be super fun. This is basically a late model stock car, a NASCAR race car. I don't know if it was a NASCAR Cup car. I don't know what it was. I don't know a lot of history. I do know that it's a Childress racing frame. I see Childress stamps all over. If you know about cars, tell me what this is. You might even know this car. So this came from Virginia. There's a racetrack up in Virginia called Franklin County Speedway, I do believe, and that's where this car probably raced in the late 90s, early 2000s. I bought this off of Junkman because it was going for scrap, and I didn't want it to go for scrap. We got the engine built. He had an engine in stock, and we're gonna make a buggy out of it here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. So it's got race tires on it, race slicks on it right now. They're kind of dirt track slicks. They're not really the best tires in the world. I think what we're gonna try to do is put some swampers on it. So under the hood that's not here, we have a 355 NASCAR engine. I popped the valve covers off. Everything looks clean as a whistle. This engine has been gone through and it runs good. However, it heats up a little bit. We've got a crappy radiator right here that has a hole in it. It's held up with bubble gum and zip ties, basically. This is the coolest adult go-kart anybody could ever have. Tell me what you think, guys. So let's fire it up, back it out of the shop here, and show you how it runs. So we got no door, but I might have to lose a little weight in order to drive this thing. We'll see. Woo! She's a tight fit. Quite the snug fit. This thing doesn't have an alternator, and the cooling system doesn't work so good, but it is good enough to drive around in the yard a little bit. So without further ado, contact, neutral, hit it. Woohoo! Come on, you do better than that. She's a little smoky, boys and girls. That's me new NASCAR. Guys, I've never driven a race car before, but let me tell you, if you get the opportunity to do something like this is super budget, super fun, super cool, and I can't wait to show you more. Guys, thanks a lot for joining me. Just thought I'd take you around, show you the new NASCAR that I just bought. Woo!
Okay.
And the oil pressure gauge works, and it's up under the hood here in case you have a buddy sitting on the windshield. They can check the oil pressure for you while you're driving.
I think that's what you call a reach around oil pressure gauge. I like that.
This is the custom misting radiator that this thing comes with.
Now that's fun.